All right, for all of our players, just a reminder of the format. All of you are going to play 3 games, and I believe that whoever has the highest total score, that's what seeding will be determined by. I don't know. Okay, never mind. It's highest score, not total score. Okay.
All right.
So,
do we have a ready? Give us a thumbs up when each team is ready for their starting player.
All right, everybody is ready, so let's begin qualifiers in 3, 2, 1, Tetris!
This is a wild format that we have here, Relay. Interesting chance to see not only multiplayer but cooperative Tetris happening. The name of the game is, you may notice that there are 2 players' names in each section, and that's because they're working together. And every time a Tetris is scored, you're going to see the controller pass, like so. Cole and Hazel. Definitely one of the more hectic possibilities, and we see the switch between Dan and Scout. A little bit of traffic on the Cole and Hazel board. Dirty Tetris. When it's dirty, you still have to pass it. And pass it right back, they do. Adding in the coordination factor of timing your Tetrises to make sure that passing is not only feasible but leaves you in a good place definitely changes the game. Dan and Scout, Tetris ready. And looking for that long bar. Ooh. Well is still open. And pass. Left well for Dan and Scout. With 4 games and 8 people, definitely pretty hectic. But all the teams are actually building very well and consistently. Cole and Hazel with a very strong sloping left build. That's a triple, no passing required there. Tetris for Hydra and Vent. So, for those of you just joining us, what we are seeing right now is the qualifying period. Each team is going to play a total of 3 games, at which point we will take the highest of those 3 scores and use that to seed the actual tournament bracket. There are a total of 6 games happening, 6 teams. 2 of them are playing off screen. That would be Huff and Emma and Shadow Knight and Bland are the other 2 teams happening. Hydra and Bland have a little bit of a dig to happen. Cole and Hazel, Tetris ready again. Dan and Scout with the well open, back-to-back bars means another pass. All 4 of our teams, given the added factors involved, putting up some very, very solid Tetris percentages. And that looks like the end of game one for Dan and Scout. That's 310-460. And that is the first game for Dan and Scout. Hydrant and Wallband. Very clean, very flat, very safe, if that's what you want to see. Dan and Scout working on game two. That's right, Commodore Friday. We are back. We are back and seeing some wild, wild relay Tetris action. A little bit of traffic for Cole and Hazel, but bringing it down. And that's a Tetris, and that's a pass. Or wait, no, that was a triple. A little bit of traffic near the top. And that's going to do it. That will bring a 3-7-1-2-6-0 for game one for Cole and Hazel. Cole and Hazel, your game score has been recorded. You may move on to game two. Meanwhile, both of our other teams have transitioned to level 19, where if level 19 was hard enough for one person, well, now you have to coordinate with two. Ooh, and a rough drought for Hydrant and Wallband will give you 4-4-3-0-2-0. Hydrant and Wallband, your game has been recorded. Feel free to move on to game two. The relay event is a really great opportunity to show off the camaraderie as well as the team. Cole and Hazel top out at 5-1-3-0-0 for game two. Ben and Ava playing well into 19 speed. Looks like it might be a little much. Wow. A very impressive half max. 5-17-1-4-0. And so all of our players on at least game two. Kingsman, that is correct. You've recognized my dulcet tones. Cairo's Final Cut coming to you with the relay event here at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center at TooManyGames 2025, kicking off the 2026 Classic Tetris World Championship season. Good to see you in the chat.
Eric, are you logging scores? You got scores?
Putting up some excellent performance here. Taking a safety triple, Dan and Scout are. Cole and Hazel open the well, close the well, open the well, close the well, open the well. Staying Tetris ready. Oh. And 103.740 for game 3. All right, that means all right, Cole and Hazel 371.260 for that qualifying score. Gotcha. Hello world, is the whole thing like this? Well, I don't know if the whole thing is quite like this, but this is a very exciting time. It's a very distinctive aspect. You don't often get to see the collaborative aspect of the Tetris community on such clear display. Dan and Scout needing to take a triple there. Crossing the half max point, 567,000. Hydran and Wallbant, very good build. Ended up needing to have one small hole, but trying to stay Tetris ready. Slightly brutal drought. As you can see, the counter starting. Looks like they've got to do some clearing. A 25-piece drought. And Tetris and a switch. And Hydran and Wallbant, 479,080. A higher score. Dan and Scout with 636,000. Currently the lead qualifying score that I have been reported, though I'm not sure exactly what's happened off stream. For those of you checking out the bracket right now, I don't know if that command has been updated for the relay situation. So just to give you an update on what's happening here, we have the 4 teams that are pictured and 2 more teams that are currently qualifying for seeds. After which, we will see the points. And that is 654,560 for Dan and Scout. And currently 654,000 currently the lead score in quals for this relay tournament. That's right, TYOW. This is a team event. Every time a Tetris is scored, they have to pass the controller. Some people think this might put rollers at a slight disadvantage because of the grips that are slightly more involved. But, you do what you must. And that's what we have going on with Ben and Ava, doing exactly what they must. Down stacking quite efficiently. Well, this is the kind of excitement you get on Friday night of the kickoff to the 2026 Classic Tetris World Championship season. Bit of a drought up on top for Ben and Ava. Ooh, and some tight positions, but definitely surmountable with the right rolling. Some absolutely mind-blowing survival happening. I mean, that survival is, the finest you'll see in any event, any tournament. Coming into level 26 with 600K. And building up for no, it's not quite, it's a dirty double up there. So no passing, even though it was scored. Absolutely star-studded competition we have here. Ooh, slightly rough hang, but still remaining Tetris ready.
This mic's not connected? Okay. Off-stream update. Huff and Meme just got 881,000 for their second game. I think that's first seed.
There is, in fact, a line cap. We are on level 39 double kill screen. And Hydrant and Wallband book a 317,680, which leaves them with a qualifying score of 479,000. Okay. All right. And the last two on the folks playing. I believe this is the only relay qualifying. This is the only relay event. I am not sure. I think there might be more quals tomorrow. A little bit of traffic up near the top for Ben and Ava. Rolling their way through it gracefully. Dan and Scout navigating to post-transition with 571. Very respectable score for one person. 18270. $182,780. Okay, so with a qualifying score of 517 for Ben and Ava. Hang on one second.
Would have had to go for Tetris, at least a Tetris Relay, so yeah, pretty good.
All right. So do we have off-stream updates? Yes, I haven't gotten those yet. Eric is logging those.
So it's only top 4 in the tournament?
6.
So what we're doing is we're going to do a bye for the top 2 teams, and then the 4 people can play, 4 teams can play. Got it.
All right, so we are now just waiting.
We got time. Yeah. So it's not super bad. We have this until 9 tomorrow, so but we don't want to go all the way until right.
So let's take a look at the crowd right now, including on the lower right corner, you can see some quals coming in with our last 2 teams, Huff and Beam and Shadow Knight and Bland.
I can tell you Shadow Knight and Bland have 523.
That's the
And then Puff and Ellis is still waiting for 1.
okay. Are they on the line? Okay. Is Shadow Knight and Bland done?
No, they just hit transition. They may have already beaten that score now. They transitioned like a bit 100.
So on the off stream, we have Huff and Meme with 881, which is a current strong favorite for the number 1 spot. And Shadow Knight and Bland have booked a 523,000. we will see this bracket. I don't know if we might want to update this bracket, since I think this is probably the other events bracket right now. We put this together by the seat of our shorts. Mm.
Yeah, that's the previous bracket.
Mm. We'll be right back.
All right, our final seeds have been decided. Huff and Emma are the number 1 seed with 881,000. Opox and Ava are the 2nd seed with 718,000. Dan and Scout are the 3rd seed with 654,000. Shadow Knight and Bland are the 4th seed with 650,000. Wally and Hydrant are the 5th seed with 479,000. And Cole and Hazel are the 6th seed with 371,000. For our first set of matches, we're going to call Cole and Hazel, Dan and Scout, Wally and Hydrant, and Shadow Knight and Bland to the stage. Again, that's Cole and Hazel, Dan and Scout, Wally, Hydrant, Shadow Knight, and Bland to the stage right now, please. easier.
Did you say there was a 654?
Yes.
Who did that?
Dan and Scout in 654.
Oh, okay. I thought they got a 712.
That's not what I have recorded.
Okay. I guess that was just a different game. Am I playing now? Because I feel bad.
Go. Come back.
Is that right? Shadow and Land. We're going to be starting these matches real soon. Let's watch a little practice as this happens.
Feedback, sorry about that. Lapis, it has not started yet. We're just waiting on one of our players to get back from the bathroom, and then we're going to begin. Like a knight in shining armor, our final 8th player has arrived, and we are going to be getting started very shortly. All right, if everybody's ready, please give a thumbs up. No, Relay does not continue for the weekend. This is going to be a one-night event.
All right. Got everybody? Almost.
All right, is everybody ready? Looks like it, and so we are gonna get started in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Now I think about it, we should have done same piece sets, but oh well.
I mean, this is a crazy event anyway, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy event.
Maybe we'll do same piece sets for the finals?
Yeah, why not?
All right, we'll get it going. Well, why not a little chaos every now and again, right?
Yeah, just a little bit, as a treat.
I mean,
All right, just a reminder of the seating here for anybody who didn't catch it earlier. So, Huff and Emma, Opox and Ava, they're the first and second seeds. They're going to be playing the winners of these 2 matches. Right now on the stage, you've got 6th seed versus 3rd seed. That's Dan and Scout versus Cole and Hazel. And we got 4th and 5th seed, which is Shadow Knight Bland versus Wally Hydrant. And for these first 2 rounds, it's going to be best of 3, and for the finals, it's going to be best of 5. We're doing this because, honestly, we don't have that much time.
but we're going to make the most of the time that we do have. Total of 6 teams in the bracket. That's right, Fryer.
Oh, Dan Scout getting very high up on the board. Oh, and they're going to top out 22,000. And Cole and Hazel are good.
And that's the first heart for Cole and Hazel.
All right, are both of you ready to start the next game? Then we'll do so in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. All right, focusing on the match at top, Hydrant and Wally have taken a nearly 2.5 Tetris lead over Shadow and Bland.
Yep.
Can I have the seat?
Sure.
Both teams trading early top outs. Cole and Hazel topping out at only 3,800 points. Can't believe we've already got a decider this early. That's just how best of 3 works, folks. What was once a best of 3 is now a best of 1. Are both teams ready? All right, in 3, 2, 1, Tetris.
Fortunes change fast in such an event, don't they?
You know what? Maybe we will get this tournament done in an hour. If all matches go like that one. So, for any new viewers who aren't familiar with what Relay is basically 2 players playing Tetris, but as soon as one player gets a Tetris, they pass the controller to the other player. So, you can see Shadow and Bland right there. They just swapped the controller between them. Oh, Colin Hazel with a very early misdrop.
But a chance for a dirty Tetris and a pass.
And a dirty Tetris. Oh, and another misdrop. Oh, and Cole and Hazel are going to top out early again. And that's going to be 2-1, Dan and Scout.
Dan and Scout will be advancing to the semifinals and facing Opak Saneva in the next round.
We got a lot of other events going on in the background. There's a fighting game tournament like right up ahead of us.
Yeah, we aren't going full wrestling announcer, but they are.
I'm gonna switch microphones, see if that helps. All right. Both teams, sorry, I keep saying play. Both teams are approaching the transition. At 130 lines, the speed is going to increase by 50%. That means 50% less time. And Shadow and Bland are the first to transition with a score of 370,000-ish.
I'd say
Hydron and Wally, 71,000 points ahead.
I'd say in this format, it's even more important to have a clean board near transition.
Yeah.
Speaking of clean boards, Hydra and Wally do have a very clean board at the moment. Staying Tetris ready throughout not the most friendly pieces. And ready when it comes. Shadow and Bland capably down stacking.
Yeah, Shadow and Bland with this dig. It's giving Hydron and Wally the opportunity to extend this lead even further. 114, 116,000 points now. Shadow and Bland getting very close to the top of the screen right now. They're going to need the dig of their life in order to get out of this one. Oh, very unfortunate misdrop. Shadow and Bland are going to top out 429,000. Hydron and Wally are good.
Let's give him that heart.
All right. Are both teams ready to start the next match? What? All right. We have a special request to switch to SPS. That's fine.
SPS is same piece sets. We're definitely going to do it for the final, having realized that we had not been doing it. But it looks like we've switched. All right. So are they going to set a seed over there?
All right. Looks like they have already set their seeds. So, all right. In 3, 2, 1,
Tetris! Ah, yes, this looks a little more familiar. It's also always nice to see when you have the synchronized, like, actually the same
Synchronized
builds.
stacking. Ah, we didn't get a synchro Tetris. That's unfortunate. Oh, but we did.
We get a simul Tetris. Not fully synchronized all the way there, but most of the way. It's still fun to see. Waldront. Yeah, no, why didn't I think of that?
Hey, why not Shadowland?
That's another good one. Well, my first thought was like Hydra Bant, but like that didn't
Yeah,
quite
that
work.
didn't work.
Waldront that's clutch.
Blando. We're just making up names. But once again, Hydron and Wally have taken an early lead. Almost 2 Tetrises. And Shadow and Bland once again digging not quite at the top of the screen, but
Definitely
and
more
they're-
freedom on 18 speed.
they're not in any danger of topping out here. It's just they're burning all these lines, and those lines are not going to be able to be used for Tetrises.
Building up towards the center, well, taking the safety triple to keep it low. And Shadow and Bland back to Tetris ready. And capitalizing on that scoring position.
So one interesting part of Relay that you might not notice at first, but every player, every team has a different way of swapping the controller. And the effectiveness of how well they can swap it is also different. So some teams might intentionally plan for a dead drop because they might not be able to swap the controller in time.
I've also
We're going to be seeing more of that on level 19, where the time to swap the controller decreases.
even players who might normally be rolling just because it takes so much more time to set up the grip are switching to dash or tap for an event like this. I do love any opportunity to see the camaraderie that is, very present when you see the Tetris scene in person. It doesn't always come through on the screen, but I think Relay is one opportunity where that actually does happen, because you are really showing care for another person with every placement.
Exactly. Both players are about halfway to transition. The lead for Waldrant has increased to a bit under 3 Tetrises.
Keeping very consistent pace at this point. 72% Tetris rate. Still early, but max out's well within reach. We have teams that are not playing also practicing, and
We're not sure how much these microphones bleed, but you might be able to hear a little bit of them. Oh, Shadow and Bland with a misdrop of that square. We were just talking about that. We didn't notice it.
getting it all the way over to the left to fill it in. And, building one off the ground.
And Tetris.
Yeah, dusty Tetris. Not that dirty, just a little dusty.
No, I haven't heard that before. That's a pretty good term, dusty Tetris.
I've been trying to make it happen for Tetrises that are only one off the ground. It's just dusty, not dirty.
Yeah.
Shadow and Bland very consistent, but a consistent nearly 4 Tetris lead at this point for Waldron. Though that this brutal 22-piece drought that Shadow Bland is going to be following up and navigating themselves.
All right, Waldron's Tetris rate has fallen a little bit to 56%, but that's still pretty well within max out pace, max out territory.
And another drought coming in, and we can see that Waldron is a couple pieces ahead, 20-odd pieces ahead, I think.
Yeah. Both teams are approaching the transition.
And again, you really want to have a clean board to pass off, not just
And
for your
both
future
players
self.
are at the same line count, and Waldron is 3 Tetrises ahead, both in score and pace.
Very strong efficiency.
All right, Shadowbland transitions 409,000, a little bit behind Hydron and Wally, who are looking to transition with this next Tetris at 482,000.
That transition Tetris is a great example of setting up a drop such that you have time to pass while the other player gets their grip ready.
Both of these teams are pretty proficient in making sure that the other person can place a piece, but both teams still prefer to set up an easy placement, like something that only requires like a tap or two.
Nice dirty setup. Oh, taking the triple on Waldron's side. 2 triples, keeping it nice and safe. No one's getting too crazy around here. Shadowbland is ready, and that's a Tetris. Almost a perfect clear. No bonus points in this version of the game, but still cool. Tetris for Waldron. Nearly a 100,000 point lead.
Yeah, and it's a true lead, a pace lead too. They were at the same line count there a little bit before.
That being said, it is a smaller and smaller number of Tetrises
double
as the,
flip there
as
for
the points go up
Shadowbland.
higher.
Not immediately dangerous, but it does mean they'll have to burn a little bit longer.
And we've got a raid coming in. Welcome, welcome to a very, very distinctive Tetris event here at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center at TooManyGames. This is the kickoff of the 2026 Classic Tetris World Championship season. Right now we're in a team event where players pass the controller back and forth with every Tetris scored. Hydron and Wally with a 150,000 point lead. Very strong lead coming around into level 25, almost 26. Such a strong performance, the board is starting to glitch a little bit, but we'll get through it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's
Hydrant, the lead has increased to nearly 200,000 points in. Yeah.
It's going to be difficult to make up this lead at 19 speed. I also don't know if I've ever seen a successful relay match happen after the second transition.
That switch was pretty disastrous for Shadow and Bland. A big series of misdrops there.
The dig is making it happen.
Oh,
with
very
that T
unfortunate
hang.
misdrop. Oh, and that's going to be it for Shadow and Bland. Hydron and Wally take it in a sweep.
And that looks like a game.
Let's watch this and see how it finishes out. Looks like they're going for a Tetris. Are they going to get it? Ah, they're not going to get it. Alrighty, in just a few minutes, we're going to be up with our next set of matches.
While both those players are certainly capable of rolling, it's a lot harder to do that in the situation of a relay match. Okay, got it. Got it.
Oh yeah, fun fact there. That last game from Wally and Hydrant, that actually beat their qualifying score by a bit over 300,000.
Strong games. Strong games all around.
Alrighty, and for our next set of matches, we are going to have Opox Ava, Dan and Scout, Huff and Meme, and Wally and Hydrant to the stage, please.
They would like to be named Ava Pox. What? Ava Pox. It's like a disease. Ava Pox. P-O-X. Okay.
Eight players, 4 teams. This was originally 6 teams.
Six versus 3, so it should be Cole and Hazel versus me and Scout.
Didn't that happen already?
No.
What do you mean?
Yes, it did.
Didn't that
I'm
happen?
crazy. It happened so fast, I forgot it happened.
All right. Yes, this is Tetris time. This is the relay event. The top 2 seeds, Huff and Meme, and Ava Pox, were given a bye.
Alrighty. We don't have a bracket up, but yeah, this is the top 4 of the tournament. These matches are going to be best of 3, and the finals are going to be best of 5.
No, the relay bracket was constructed very hastily,
Tetris
sparing
time,
all
if
expense.
If you're talking about the tournament bracket, that's because there are only 8 players that qualify during the Friday qualifying slot. There's going to be a lot more players qualifying tomorrow.
And relay is it's very similar to Mind Meld. All right, let's collect readies from our various players. And we're setting up same piece sets for this. Are we doing same piece sets for this or just for finals? We are setting up same piece sets. Same piece sets because this is a very serious contest of skill. as much fun as we're having. All right. Are we ready with same piece sets? I have 2 readies. Readies?
Alrighty, it appears that all 4 of our teams are ready. Just thumbs up if you're ready, everybody.
Okay.
All right. Okay, everybody's ready, so let's get started in
3,
2, 1,
Tetris!
Starting off with 4 squares. Love to see that.
And on level 18, we're seeing some solid play all around, and the Tetrises and the switches begin. And the piece set in our top match came in with a very rough early drought, so they haven't even had a chance to switch yet. But you can see how ready.
What is this? I'm glad you're saying piece sets, because this will be really hard.
Yeah, no, we're fortunate that we switched to the same piece sets because
I'm looking over at the 2 games of the top match. There's only 3 long bars, and it has been 20 lines. And there's a 4th. Oh, Hydrant and Wally. Small misdrop up at the top there. That could be deadly. They can't get this over.
some skill for flat burns for Dan and Scout.
Oh, they need something for that left side. And that's going to be it. Hydrant and Wally top out 69,000. Huff and Meme are already good.
Avapox needs to dig out to reopen that well. Dan and Scout opening up a 2 Tetris lead. All right. Resetting the seeds.
All right. Are both teams ready? All right. We'll get started in 3, 2, 1.
Tetris!
I'm sorry, I missed the hey now from King for a 69,000 point top out.
And what is it with these early droughts? RN Jesus came to play. $28-piece drought to start the game down at the bottom. And up top, it said that's where all the bars are from the game at the bottom. They're in the top
Oh,
game.
yeah.
That's how that happens sometimes. Share the wealth. Dan and Scout, very solid sloping builds. Solidly paced and Tetris ready again. Avapox,
I believe, yeah.
A little bit of traffic.
I believe Dan and Scout are the only team on this board right now who are using the DAS playstyle. all of their teams are either tapping or rolling. So it's pretty impressive that they're holding their own against Avapox, who's rolling. And
I mean, Das is
we unfortunately don't have wide angle cameras with a wide enough angle, but if you could pan the camera down right now, you could see that Ava and Opox, they're passing the controller between each other actually pretty seamlessly because they roll on opposite hands, so they're sitting across from each other, so it's a pretty seamless pass. So RXS, the bracket has not been updated. This is the top 4. So the bracket that Nightbot just sent is the bracket for tomorrow's tournament.
What you're seeing now is a relay event, a side event off the main one.
FC, this is the relay bracket. Or what's left of it anyway.
A Dan Scout. I like that. And we have some strong, solid play down on the bottom game. Pretty solidly neck and neck. The Shutterbugs, that's a good name. On comms, we have Eric ICX and Kairos Final Cut. I don't know if there's a place to put that in this beautiful, beautiful OBS layout, but that's okay.
I'm sure there's a spot somewhere for it. We just haven't found it yet.
Oh, but you know what? We're just here to let them be the stars, right?
Exactly. We're the supporting cast.
Supporting cast badasses. One of my favorite niches in any given movie or TV show team. Drop your other ideas for creative relay team names in the chat, and we'll bring them up to the team imps, and maybe they'll start using them. Bottom game wrestling a 24-piece drought so far. Staying Tetris ready.
Update on the top game.
27-piece drought.
Dan and Scout are actually ahead of Abafox, and it's by about 2 Tetrises or so in terms of pace.
Thank you, Ninjas. We might check that out. And yeah, Avapox is ahead by just a few lines. Oh, on the bottom, it's getting a little tight. But clear again, Huff and Meme breaking it down.
Yeah, both players on the bottom are approaching the transition. Oh, unfortunate misdrop from Dan and Scout there, and they are behind now, so they have to dig in order to win if they want to win. Oh, and that misdrop is going to seal it. Avapox takes game 1.
598 to 698. A very, very hard-fought game up top. Avapox gets the heart. Memolophagus. That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good one.
All right, are both teams ready to start game 2? Alrighty, so we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. Tetris!
What an exciting night. And this isn't even the finals.
Yeah, the finals are going to be up next between the winners of these two matches. So make sure to stick around for that. On the bottom, Huff and Meme have taken a fairly commanding lead. 110,000 points ahead. They are slightly ahead in lines, but
Almost 5 Tetrises.
it is still a true pace lead.
Now, taking absolutely nothing away from the raw skill displayed by Dan and Scout, the fact that they're able to pass the controller in a relatively level fashion is an advantage of DAS in this format particularly. If you don't happen to have the very complementary rolling styles that AvaPox happen to employ as well. A little bit of traffic for AvaPox up top.
Yeah.
Certainly surmountable, but not always what you love to see.
Missed square adjustment there. Unfortunate.
And open for business once again. Hydra and Wally clawing their way back.
Yeah, both players are almost at level 29. Or both teams, rather.
At which point, you know...
Yeah. And Huff and Meme have a fairly commanding 3 Tetris lead. This lead is almost impossible for Hydra and Wally to surmount before level 29. So we'll see how this goes. In fact, it literally is impossible now.
Well, but we'll see how it happens.
Alrighty. With that Tetris, Huff and Meme transition to level 29. Already, there's a little bit of a problem there. And Hydra and Wally top out 805,000. Huff and Meme are good, but can we get a rolling max out?
A relay max out.
A relay max out. A relay rolling max out.
A rolling... you were right.
And there it is.
A rolling relay max out.
Huff and Meme get the first max out of the event. And they take game number 2.
And that will send Meme and Huff to the finals of this relay event. And now we have a chance to focus on the Shutterbugs, the photographers versus AvaPox. Yeah, let's good idea, Eric. Let's take a look at exactly how this handoff works, because that is distinctive.
You know what they say, limitations breed creativity. So while we might not be able to see both of their faces at the same time with their current camera setup, we can see how they are passing the controller in a very unique manner.
It's giving me Super Smash Brothers Master Hand, Crazy Hand vibes with the 2 gloves.
Yeah. And if you are not aware, this controller that AvaPox is using, this is the padless controller. This is a prototype that both of them are working on together. It aims to replace all of the NES controller's buttons with mechanical switches.
That's an interesting project. Dan and Scout keeping it very, very clean and managed to keep the scores in a position of swapping leads. What one might even say neck and neck.
Indeed. Yeah,
There we go.
There we go. Now we got the score leads back.
Thank you for the call in. Ava Pox is Tetris ready. And hopefully we'll get to see that pass.
And there's the Tetris. Transitioning 385,000 points. And Dan and Scout looking for, well, any line clear at this point. Yeah, the TRT's got a bit messed up. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Oh, Ava Pox. Oh, Ava Pox is going to top out at the transition. 400. No. There's no chase down. You're good.
Eric, I'm
good.
very thirsty, and there's only one thing that can quench my thirst.
More Tetris.
A decider.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get the piece sets lined up. Are they? All right.
It looks like both teams are ready, so let's get the final game of the semifinals counted down in 3, 2, 1. Tetris!
Well, this is very exciting to see Dan and Scout, as you pointed out, the two DAS players making a deep run in the relay bracket. And if you want to try out relay, it's good to find someone who has a complementary style to yours, the way we're seeing with Ava Pox. And Dan and Scout reopening the well. Nice smooth passes between both teams. Ooh, a little bit of a hole for Ava Pox. Easily cleaned. And boom, Tetris for Ava Pox.
Both teams right now pretty neck and neck.
I have a question, Eric, and maybe you can answer this. How long have they been doing relay events at CTWC?
I believe this is the first one.
They did one at the Jonas Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh, yeah. Maybe the second one then. Definitely the first one on the East Coast.
That'll do it. So an East
Dan
Coast premiere.
And Scout with a small misdrop. Waiting for a bar, and they get it.
Some very, very good survival skills. And again, as a reminder,
And with that long bar,
as a reminder, these
they
players
get out of
are
that dig. And Ava Pox was actually not able to capitalize on that because they're going through a dig of their own.
And again, as a reminder, DAS players do not quite have the same fearless freedom that you see with rollers near the top of the screen.
But more importantly for relay, they do actually have an advantage. It's easier to hand off the controller to somebody just like that.
Dealing with 18-piece drought, but keeping the board low made for an easy hand back. Ooh, covering up the well. Excellent. Staying Tetris ready. Ava Pox continues to have a little bit of traffic as they're trying to build more to the left.
Oh, Dan and Scout getting a little high up, but they get the bar in time.
All right, we got out of it.
And safety triple to try and get back down. But even with these difficulties, maintaining a 4 Tetris lead, nearly 100,000 points. Ava Pox has managed to get the board clean again, though. And now we just need those bars. Wingfryer in the chat confirming the Jonas Cup first relay tournament won by Spirit Vet was one of the winners. That might have been a 3-player relay tournament at Jonas Cup, if I'm remembering correctly. So this might be the first 2-player relay tournament? No. You're watching history, folks. That's the upshot of what I'm saying here. Amazing.
So there were 3- and 4-player teams at Jonas Cup, but here we only have 2-player teams. All right,
Makes it
Dan
a little
and Scout
bit more simpler to
transitioning
mine now.
391,000 points. Ava Pox is going to transition with this next Tetris if they get it. Oh, Dan and Scout going to top out 394,000 points. And
So we have a chase down.
yeah, 395,000 needed to win. DJ, this event is actually at the TooManyGames Expo at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center in Oaks. And the main tournament is tomorrow if you're in the area and you want to attend.
Oh, and a little bit of
Complications up here for
Is it in the bag?
Ava
It may
Pox.
not be in the bag. Oh,
they're getting pretty high up on the board. It's starting to approach dangerous territory.
some
Oh, they
very,
got
very
that over.
skilled survival is going to be needed here.
Oh, and that misdrop is probably going to seal it. And Dan and Scout with the upset. Dan and Scout are going to the finals.
The weight of the entire DAS playing world on their shoulders.
All right, we're going to get set up for the finals, and we will be back very shortly.
as possible so whoever wins. Okay.
All right.
Chat, should I eat more sliders? You can never eat enough sliders. Yes.
I mean, we're not going to stop you. Will the act of eating more sliders, put anyone else in danger? Probably not. All right, so we're going to do same piece sets for the final as well.
Yep.
You can see Huff and Meme warming up. And we see Dan and Scout furiously updating their social media. All right, we are so ready. Kicking off the first finals of any event in the 2026 season of the Classic Tetris World Championships. Relay, two-person relay. 3 and 4 person teams were played at the Jonas Cup, but this is the first CTWC side event with two-person relay teams. Very much in the spirit of Mind Meld.
All right. Both teams are on the same seed. Are both teams ready to start the finals of the relay tournament? All right. Is the crowd ready to start the finals of the relay tournament? All righty. Let's begin. All righty. Let's begin in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris! Buko!
And it would not be a CTWC without at least one Buko. A Dan Scout.
You know what? First off, thank you for the sub, Fatty Wonder, but I am going to replace the names of these two teams with whatever the most recent one in chat is. So...
I think Memalophagus was the last one I saw for Huff and Meme.
Actually, hold up. Dan and Scout are in a lot of danger here, and they're going to top out early, 11,000 points. Yeah. Unfortunate early, best of 5. Unfortunate early top out from Dan and Scout.
Okay, we're
all right. 0D. All right, both teams are on the same seat. So 3, 2, 1. Tetris.
We do reserve the right to use our judgment, and it's not just going to be the last one that was put in there. Just so as y'all know. But yeah, we're gonna have some fun with this.
Names changed.
if we had slightly better controls, we could change it every Tetris, the way that they have to pass the controller back and forth. We're not quite that smart. Well, we just don't have quite that many keyboards.
Danvid is also a good one, but I think a Dan Scout is better.
If you come up with a better one in chat, we will replace it.
Asterisk, replacement not guaranteed.
Yeah. Definition of better, not guaranteed. All right. Only one early game drought so far.
Dan's saying if they lose faster, we get dinner faster. So.
Ooh, a game sushi.
It is 8:15 and I have only had breakfast. I am very, very hungry.
Some very
Longboard dependency getting immediately filled for a Dan Scout.
some very creative burns.
And Tetris for a Dan Scout. 106,000 points. They are in the lead. And looks like Mimaleficus is going to have to dig slightly.
Actually, I don't know if we're going to change. We'll change it between games. We'll change the names between games.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So yeah, everybody drop your ideas for these team names in chat.
Huff of all time.
That's a
Okay.
good one.
A game,
Kingsman says Shutterbugs.
a game sushi is also pretty good. But yeah, maybe Shutterbugs next in queue. Neither board in perfect condition.
Yeah, both players digging right now. Not being able to capitalize on each other's digs.
A Dan Scout opting to go straight down to the bottom rather than building Dusty. Got a Quaidwell brewing. Open for business.
Dan Scout, unfortunately not going to get that center wall Tetris. And in the meantime, Mimaleficus has transitioned back to a right well. Opting to pass up on that Tetris to presumably get a better board.
Yeah, those decisions for board health are... The other advantage of passing up a Tetris is that if one person is in the zone, they can stay there.
S-spin for Mimaleficus. Nice. Dan Scout getting a little high up, very dependent on getting some good pieces for that right side. But what is this drought? 32 pieces and counting, and a mischief 36-piece drought for a Dan Scout. That was a massive, massive drought.
Yeah, we get one more game.
Wait, I just realized I gave the heart to the wrong team. That's hilarious. So, we are sorry. Mimaleficus did, in fact, win both games.
We have two match points for Mimaleficus. And let's change up the names. Let's go to let's put Shutterbugs in for a Dan Scout.
All right, damn it. Unfortunately, that name doesn't fit. All right, are both teams ready? All right, let's get this started in 3, 2, 1. Tetris.
Tetris.
Buko.
All right, Huff of all Tim, starting with a pile in the center there.
Oh, another good one. Muff.
That was the one when I was saying, yeah, we reserve the right to exercise some judgment on this.
Hey, it is a good name, though.
For many purposes, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Shutterbugs Tetris ready, and click, click for the Shutterbugs.
Got a little bit of a laugh there from the Shutterbugs.
Huff for All Tim is a little bit trafficked up top. Open for business again. Mm-hmm. 15-16, the drought continues, and they're almost on the exact same pieces. 22-piece drought finally resolved.
Huff of All Time coming up. However, Huff of All Time with a clean board, and the Shutterbugs are going to have to dig a little bit, so they do have the lead. But with this next Tetris, Huff of All Time is going to take the lead.
But can they keep it?
Unfortunate misdrop for the Shutterbugs. You get that J over to the left. That's step one of getting out of the situation. Step two is that long bar. They're going to need something for the middle. That J will do.
Some truly excellent survival skills.
And Huff of All Time also digging, so not able to capitalize much on this dig.
Nice and flat.
Shutterbugs are out, and click, click, Tetris for the Shutterbugs.
Just in time. Always a little frustration when pieces one off, but the left is not too low. Nice and salvageable. I have to say, both teams have been managing to keep situations where they've had to cover the well generally resolvable with one or two skims. Very intelligent burns.
Huff of All Time with a couple more burns.
A couple shells for Off of All Time at this point, but Shutterbugs have not been able to really step on the gas either.
Yeah. Shutterbugs up in a pretty high dig as well. Should be survivable assuming they get the correct pieces. And looks like they will be able to survive.
Huff for All Time also fighting with an almost well.
Yeah. Both teams with in other scenarios this would be considered abysmal Tetris rates. Huff of All Time with 24%. They're going to transition with a score of 300 something thousand.
But
most likely.
But you know what? This is relay. And we have to look at a lot of different factors in this situation.
Yeah.
Boards are both coming down.
Looking to transition if they can get these next two Tetrises with a score around 330,000 points. And they're only going to be able to get one Tetris.
Solid S-spin.
With the next line clear, the Shutterbugs are going to transition as well. Huff of All Time transitions with 315,000. Oh! Shutterbug is going to transition 349,000. That's a 34,000 point lead for the Shutterbugs. Blithering Trips asks, what format is this? This is Relay. Both players are playing, so one player plays at a time, and whenever one player gets a Tetris, they pass the controller over to the other player. Repeat, and you got Relay. Small misdrop for the Shutterbugs there.
Not ideal, but certainly survivable.
Huff of All Time up into a small dig of their own.
But they did. Huff of All Time did retake the lead in that as the speed increased. Shutterbug's burning it down.
And so is Huff of All Time.
Shutterbug's finally back to the standard right well stability. And finally set up, and boom, Tetris for Shutterbugs. Huff of All Time had to cover the well. Shutterbugs is set up and passes it back again. The intensity is palpable. A little bit more than 1.5 Tetris
Huff
lead.
of All Time does have the score lead right now, but Shutterbugs are behind by 4 lines. So the pace lead, in terms of pace, they're actually pretty equal.
Tetris for Huff of All Time.
Perfect 2 bars for the Shutterbugs there. Huff of All Time gonna have to burn a few more lines. 72,000 points ahead.
Shutterbugs will not try and build Dusty off the bottom. Well transfer all the way back to the right, keeping it clean. There is the screen flash and the very brief pause during a Tetris.
Huff of All Time, little high up on the board for level 28. They'll have to burn this down pretty quickly if they want to survive into level 29. Oh, going for the very risky Tetris. Will they be able to get it? It looks like
they get
the
the
answer
dirty.
is yes. Shutterbugs' next burn line will take them into the kill screen, and there it is. 675,000. Huff of All Time sweeps. Although, that game actually beat, the Shutterbug game actually, that beat their qualifying score. That's pretty cool.
An absolutely stellar performance. Let's give both teams a hand right here.
Let's give them a
including
round of
finals for
applause.
DAS players in this year 2025 CTWC side event relay. What an incredible, incredible game. Real nail biter. Could have gone either way, but it went the way it went. Wow.
Right. It's 100,000. Within 100,000. Yeah, I'll take it against players that good.
Guys, that was incredible.
I mean, that beats our qualifying score. Yeah, it was our highest score of the day.
Alrighty.
Well, here we are. I think this is the only commentator cam we have on us at the moment.
Oh yeah, it is. Let's turn
But-
down the brightness a little bit.
You can see people.
Yeah, you can see us, right?
I think you can see us.
Oh, that's what's doing it. Okay.
That's what's doing it.
All right.
Well, Eric, what a historic match we have. This is the first CTWC side event with 2-player relay.
Yeah. First ever. Let's try to make this a regular occurrence.
I think it's a lot of people did seem to have fun. Best comcam ever? Yes.
Yes.
Welcome to the Matrix is what we have going on here as
Yeah.
far as I know. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, that's all the Tetris we have for tonight.
There's
Remember to tune in tomorrow at 12 p.m. for the additional qualifying slots that we have tomorrow. We have 3 qualifying slots, each is 1 hour long, and we're going to have, I believe, about 30 players total qualifying, including some pretty heavy names. So remember to join us tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard